Alright everyone, in the previous video we created a pounce for the werewolf. Now if you look over in the screen at the moment, after he pounces he does all kinds of weird stuff. The reason for that is pounce doesn't reset him into any particular costume, so he just continues with the costumes that appear after the pounce. So when next costume fires here, it just takes the werewolf from the pounce costume. So the last pounce costume is here, and then just takes him through the howl, and then through the attack, and then through the change, and so on. So we have to fix that. There's a couple of other things I want to do as well. So the first thing, just before I forget it, is I want to go over to health. That's this bottle here. And I want to just add a little hack, little safety valve that says when I receive game over, switch costume to potion 7. What's that for? When the werewolf attacks the wizard really fast, if anything goes wrong and this bottle doesn't empty at the right rate, I don't want it sitting half full when the wizard has disappeared into his hand, because then the player is like, wait, what happened? I've still got half a bottle of health. And the truth is, no, you don't have half a bottle of health, but the bottle didn't update fast enough. You ran out of health. So to make sure that this always shows that you've run out of health when you die, we're just going to put this in here that makes sure it goes to the last costume, the empty bottle, whenever the game is over. So that's just a fail-safe. Going back to werewolf, what we're going to do after the werewolf finishes attacking is we're going to make him rest and just catch his breath. And then we're going to reset him so he has the right costume at the beginning, and then he goes back to walking. So create a block, call it pant. This is what dogs do, and wolves, when they're exhausted, they hang their tongues out and they pant. And then we're going to switch the costume to the first of the pants, which is here. Now, if you look at the costumes, just to see what we're going to do, we have 3 pant graphics. So you can see him just exhaling. And then we're going to make him do that 3 or 4 times so that he looks like he's going and he's panting. So, but for one pant, you switch the costume to pant, and then you just go through the next couple of costumes. So there's 3 in total, so we repeat 2 to go from 1 to 3. And it's next costume, as it always is. And we gotta put a little bit of a wait time in, just to make sure that your brain has time to process it. And that's all there is to one pant. But then I want you to make a block called a rest. And we're just gonna pant 3 times. That'll be what a rest is. So repeat 3 times. Grab a pant. At the end of each pant, I want him to take a slightly longer pause. So the pants themselves go quite fast, like pause, pause, pause. But the pause isn't going to be quite that long, but it's just a break between breaths. The breaths themselves have a weight within them, but that's supposed to keep things smooth but visible. This is actually going to create a pause that your brain will notice. And then after all this, to stop all this nonsense where he's just going through all these different costumes, we're going to go back to his main costume, which is whole. And because that's before walk 1, walk 2, etc., the next costume that you get in the take step will just move into the walks. That is provided that when we check to pounce, after the pounce, let's not forget to call the rest. Now you might even see it now taking effect. Yep, there he goes straight into his pant, and then now he walks around. So all that craziness has ended. He's just gone back to walking around. So let's try it out in the game itself. So he should pounce any minute. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One thing that's puzzling is that he's scratching me at a distance after he's finished pouncing. Not quite sure why that's happening. Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm not sure why that is, but I'm going to figure it out before the next video. For now, I'm happy with the fly and the pants and the pant and the rest. And so I think I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you in the next video.